Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Garden with Patrick. If you love hummingbirds like me, you're in for an absolute treat today. I just added this Grete Gotye Hummingbird Feeder to my garden and it has been amazing results. So it's not going to be very long before the hummingbirds start to find this again with the nectar. I try not to leave it out for very long. I go clean my hummingbird feeder and put the nectar, the clean nectar out every maybe week or so, 7 to 10 days. A lot of times they'll tell you to change it a little bit sooner than that. And then sometimes I do have to change it a little sooner because there's a lot of hummingbirds that come out. The hummingbirds just love this little area here. I have flowers along the side of my patio, and I also have hummingbird feeders throughout my property here. So they just absolutely love to go from different areas, but by far this seems to be the most popular of my hummingbird feeders. So I hang my hummingbird feeder up next to some other ones. The hummingbirds are very territorial, so I like to have several different hummingbird feeders around my property so that they can kind of go into different areas. So this feeder again is right next to this other feeder. They like to perch on both of them. A lot of times one hummingbird will tend to kind of guard this whole area. So you'll see some fighting going on in the video that I'm going to show you. And but they really like this perch of this beautiful hummingbird. The design is beautiful. I really like it, and it's glass, which makes it a little bit more durable. And within hours of setting this up, I had more hummingbirds than I've seen all season. So what makes this feeder different? Let's take a closer look. One thing that I love about this Grete Gotye, I hope I'm saying it right, is that, well, it's designed, it's very sturdy, it's leak-proof, and super easy to clean. That's important, especially when it comes to keeping the nectar safe and mold-free. I make my own simple hummingbird nectar with just sugar and water, no red dye. I'll drop the recipe in the description below, but let me show you how to make it very, very simply. It's very quick and easy. Cleaning and replacing your nectar in this beautiful hummingbird feeder is very easy. So what you're basically going to do is you're just going to unscrew this, and inside, I will tell you that there is hardly any nectar usually that I ever have to drain with this, but it's very, very, because the hummingbirds just love it and they just drink pretty much all of the nectar out of this hummingbird feeder. But very, very simple to clean. All you're just going to do is unscrew that off the bowl, and then you have this, and very easy. You just use your water. You can soap and water if you want, and clean that very well. I just clean this, so I'm not going to go through the whole cleaning process, but you can just rinse all of this out nice and easy. You're going to also rinse out your bowl here, okay? And then once you do that, now you're going to fill this up with your nectar. I'm going to show you how to do the nectar real quick. Making hummingbird nectar is very simple. You're going to use 1 part white refined sugar, and you're going to pour that into warm or boiling water. Now I'm using 8 cups of water, so I'm going to use 2 cups of the sugar. And the reason they like you to use the boiling water is so that the sugar completely melts. I find that if you just kind of use a warm water and you just kind of stir quite a bit, all of that will dissolve completely. So the key is 1 to 4 ratio for your sugar to water. You don't want to add any red food coloring, or don't use any other kind of sugar like brown sugar or unsweetened sugar, those types of things. And you're just going to use that simple recipe. The hummingbirds love that for sure. So you can see how that's pretty much almost pretty dissolved. This water is more like tepid right now. It's not really warm. And of course, if you do use boiling water, you want to make sure that you have that water cooled down before you put it outside for your hummingbirds. So I've pretty much got my water my sugar dissolved in the water now, okay? So what you're going to do is, this is how simple it is, especially with this beautiful hummingbird feeder. You're just going to take your water, your sugar water, and you're just going to pour that, the desired amount, in. And I usually go about 3/4. Okay? So once you do that, now you have your, and see how this also will stay up. It's pretty easy. It's really a nice, convenient way of holding that nectar in there. Then you're going to take your top and the area where the hummingbirds will feed. You're just going to take that and screw that right onto that lid. Once it gets a little tighter, it just screws right in there. See how that works? Just kind of hand tighten it. Doesn't have to be super tight. Then once you do that, all you're just going to do is flip that over, and now you're all set and ready to go. The nectar's draining into here, and we're going to put this up, and I'm going to show you how these hummingbirds just love this feeder. They like to drink from these little red. I think red is a key color for hummingbirds. They really seem to be attracted to that. But they also like this perch, this little wire that's here. They like to perch on that. They'll sit sometimes and just sit and kind of guard their little hummingbird feeder or their area. And then sometimes they'll sit and then they'll drink from the feeder. You want more action? Try placing more than one feeder around your garden area. Hummingbirds can be very territorial, so spreading them out even across your patio or your garden area really helps to prevent fighting and keeping those hummingbirds just to one little area. If you're looking to level up your hummingbird game, the Grete Gotye Feeder is absolutely worth checking out. I'll drop a link below if you want one for your garden. Until next time, happy gardening!